Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to the Sunday Feast class. We will get started with the mangala chant prayers here. And you can you can sing along with me. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurau Shri Yuta Padkamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So a few announcements I need to make because I'm using text borrowed from other places. So any images or any text that I have used in this presentation are from the permission of the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. I'd also like to offer some acknowledgements. First to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, for translating all the pertinent Vedic scriptures into English, without which I would have never understood any of that. I'd also like to thank my spiritual master, His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, who has been constantly guiding me for the last 15 years in the spiritual realm. Also to my Shiksha Guru, Shivas Pandit Das, who taught me how to read these scriptures in a scrutinized manner. My thanks are also to Shri Gopal Das Prabhu and to Hansa Priya Mataji for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak at the Sunday Feast lecture in the association of devotees like you. And I also like to thank my husband, Rakesh Rajput Prabhu, who has been very, very supportive for me throughout, and without whose help I couldn't be here where I am today. So today the topic is becoming the company that we seek, the power of sadhu-sanga.
Hare Krishna, sorry for the interruption. If you could all face the speaker, I will appreciate it.
I thought they had their ears pointing towards me. You can also come closer. We are vegetarians here. We don't eat human beings. Come on, closer. And my name is Shraddha Devi Dasi. So we talked about becoming the company that we keep. So one of the famous quotes is that, tell me your company and I will tell you your future. Who are you associating with is going to determine your future. Your association is going to determine your direction in life. Now, today we are not just only going to talk about how to seek good company or what is good company, but also how do you become what you are seeking to be. So we talk about association, right? Company that you keep is association. And my apologies, it's not very much readable. But so when we look at associate, it can be used as a verb and adjective, and also as a noun. So today I'm only going to focus on associate, word associate as a verb. And it says you connect. You connect with something else that is in your mind. For example, they give example there that I associated wealth with freedom. Sometimes we think if I have a lot of money, I have freedom. I don't know whether it's actually true or not, but people do think and make that association. Then it also means connect something with something else because they occur together, right? So the environmental problems are associated with the nuclear waste, right? That's another association we bring. Then the third is when you're involved with something, right? She has been associated, or he has been associated with a particular project for 10 years now, or something like that. Then allow oneself to be connected with or seen to be supportive of. And that's the kind of association we're going to focus on today, right? Like I cannot associate myself with any of the language that is being used, right? Somebody's talking like that. So when you're associating something, we are talking about that you're also supportive of that cause or whatever that group is. Meet or have dealings with someone commonly regarded with disapproval. So they are at the risk of associating with criminals, right? So these are some of the words, some of the meanings of the word associate. Now, interestingly, when you look at the Sanskrit language, there's a word shachate. And associate word is connected to the word shachate. Sanskrit is the oldest language. And which means to be associated or united with. Have to do with, be familiar with, and or associate oneself with. To be possessed of or enjoy, to take part or participate in, to suffer or endure. So sachate can be used in so many words, so many ways in the Sanskrit language. Again, we are going to focus on the first bullet today. So talking about association, you would have seen or heard about the chameleon, right? It's a species of lizard, I believe. And so the peculiar thing about the chameleon is that it gets and in order to camouflage, it acquires the color of the surrounding that it is on. For example, you see the chameleon sitting over there on a road or a rock, and it has acquired the color of the rock. So originally it could be any color, but when it goes to the rock, slowly as it associates more and more, then it will start acquiring that color there. Right? Similarly, the same chameleon, when it goes and sits on a leaf, takes the color of the leaf. So the idea is to protect itself, right? But what I'm trying to emphasize here is that, when you associate with something, when we associate with something, we try to acquire the properties of that particular thing. Okay? So we have to be very careful of our association. So Jim Rohn, who is a motivational speaker, quite a few of you must have heard his name, very famous here in the USA. He says that you are the average of the 5 people you spend most time with. So if you can count 5 people that you spend most time with, you'll know that you are acquiring their qualities. Right? So you are the average of that. So then the question here is that why should I care about association? Okay? And we will be talking about that in the context of your visit here to the temple, which means that you are devotees and interested in speaking, looking out and searching the truth. And so the talk will be focused around that, right? So we won't be talking about any political affiliations and associations. We'll be focused on. So why I should be caring about my association? We saw the slide on the chameleon. Whoever we associate with, we will become like that. Or Jim Rohn says, take 5 people, and then you are average of those. So if you don't care about that, then I picked up this quote which my Guru Maharaj uses a lot. It says, if you don't know where you're going, then any road will take you there. Because you don't know where you're going. You take any road. And you'll keep on walking, maybe in circles as well. Right? So we should know what our goal in life is. So what do you think our goal in life is? I'm looking for some participation from the audience. What are your goals in life? Short-term goals, long-term goals, no goals? Peace is one goal. Okay, good. Happiness is one goal. To attain the love of Godhead. You have to use your microphone because there are people watching us and they can't hear anything if you don't use the microphone. Yeah. Okay, you wanted to tell us? Yeah. What's your name? Tell us your name also when you take the microphone. Ooh. Yugal, can you help them? Ramananda Sakababu is yellow. Is yellow there? Her name is Arya. And she has the mic now.
Maybe kindness?
Kindness? Wow, that's so very sweet of you. Yes, so we have different kinds of goals in our life, right? And so then we have different kinds of goals. So we have to talk about what is the ultimate goal. So all the goals that you mentioned are good goals. They're not bad at all, right? But this is the ultimate goal of our life. And the beauty of that is that once you make this as the ultimate goal of your life, you'll get the other goals that you were talking about. Happiness, peace, kindness, all that. That comes as a byproduct there. So when we are talking about our goals in life, and we said that the goal, what is our goal in life? Ultimate goal of life is to do pure devotional service. Then the question is, what is pure devotional service? Right? Then different people will describe it in different ways, right? Different religions will define it in different ways, right? So we lean on the Shastras to get an answer to that. And so in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, the definition of pure devotional service is quoted and given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so he says, and this is actually coming from, also quoted in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So it says, Anya abhlashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. Okay, so let's look at what it means. So we are picking up some of the synonyms there. It says, Anya abhlashita shunyam. Shunya means zero, right? Anya abhlashita shunyam means without desires. So it doesn't mean that you stop desiring everything, like I have no desire to dress the deities, I have no desire to do the garlands, not like that. These desires that you're saying that you should get rid of are those that are other than serving the Lord. So any desires that you have for your own self, those desires have to be given up. Your pure intent and the true intent of desiring anything should be for the service of the Lord. Right? Then it says, Anyablashita shunyam jnana, jnana by the knowledge of the philosophy of the monist Mayavad. So jnana means you should not, jnana karmadi anavritam, like you should not have these two things. What is jnana? Right? So like, you might just say that, if you're saying jnana should not be there, what am I doing here in this class? I should just walk out of it if jnana is not needed, right? So here the Prabhupada has qualified and he says that this is that jnana that tells you that you are God. Have you heard people around you telling that you are God? Right? Right? I see quite a few of you nodding your heads, right? So we have to be away from that, that you are God. Jnana and then karma is by fruitive activities. So a lot of people will do a lot of pious things. They'll do demigod worship, they'll have yajnas, they will fast. They'll do all that, but they're doing all that for their own good, for their own end results. Right? So that is karma. And so you should not be doing that. Those are fruitive activities where fruit means phal, right? So you look focused on the phal or the results of your activities. So you should not be doing that. So a pure devotional service doesn't have any other desires or materials. It's devoid of the thought which thinks that I am God. And also, it doesn't have fruitive activities. Right? Jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena. Anukulyena means it is favorable to Krishna. So whatever your activities that you do, if you're saying this is pure devotional service, then it has to be something which is favorable to Krishna. For example, in devotional service, we say one of the activities of devotional service is to chant the names of the Lord, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are taking the names of the Lord, right? So many times we took 16 times in this particular mantra. So now the question is that Kamsa also was taking the names of the Lord all the time. He was saying, where is Vishnu? I'll kill him. Where is Vishnu? I'm killing him. Is he taking the name of Vishnu, right? Is it favorable to Vishnu? No, it is not, because he's saying, I'm going to kill him, right? So pure devotional service, when it is pure, won't have any negative emotions towards Krishna. Anukulina Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktim Uttava. And then this is the difficult part. Krishna Anu Shilanam means you have to do service for Krishna also. So it's not just talking like that and or thinking. You have to do some active work for Krishna, right? That is pure devotional service, which is first class devotional service, right? So we just went through the words just to familiarize ourselves with this sloka. So the translation, and I'm looking for some participation. Anybody wants to read the translation for me? You want to do that? Go ahead. But you have to do it on the microphone. Now you figure it out how to switch it on? Yeah, it's already turned on from the, yeah. Go ahead.
When first-class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by the monastic philosophy, and fruit of it action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires.
Thank you. Right? So it has to be, you have to serve Krishna favorably and as Krishna desires. And we see in the Bhagavad Gita in the beginning, Arjuna did not want to fight, right? He gave so many reasons why he should not fight. And then, but we have to do, he didn't want to fight, but then ultimately afterwards, after 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, he says that I will do, Krishna, whatever you want. Because Krishna said, I want this Mahabharata war to be done, to be held or to be fought like that. Because I want to remove the burden on the earth from all these demoniac natured people which are there. So then with that intention that he's doing this, he's fighting this war for Krishna, Arjuna goes and fights that. So this is known as, serving Krishna. And then you do as Krishna desires, even though it might appear a little tight on us to do that, but then he did that, right? So if our aim is to do devotional service and to attain pure devotional service of the Lord, then the question is, how do I do that? How will I reach and achieve my goal, right? So you have to take some steps and you have to walk towards your goal, metaphorically. So there are actually 9 steps to devotional service, or 9 stages that you go through when you by which you will attain pure devotional service of the Lord. Each can be gone into in detail for many, many hours. We can talk about that. I'm going to take up only half of the full set of verses which are there, and we'll only focus on things which are relevant to the topic that we're talking about today, right? So it says that Adau Shraddha Tatha sadhu-sanga tha bhajana kriya tato nartha nivirti sya tato nishta ruchis tatha. And after that also there will be more stages. This is talking about the stages. Again, this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Those of you who are not familiar with the word Chaitanya, when you look at the altar, in the middle you see Krishna, and to his left you see Radha, and to his right is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is a combined incarnation of Radha and Krishna. So Radha and Krishna combined incarnate as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if you look at his hands, if you look at him, he's standing with both his hands like that. He is a very munificent form of the Lord, and very, very merciful there. So Chaitanya Charitamrita talks about Adho Shraddha Tatha sadhu-sanga Tatha bhajanarkya. So let's look at this. So it says Adao. Adao means in the beginning. So when you're starting your devotional service, there will be some faith. Because you have faith, that's why you have come here, right? If there was no faith, you wouldn't have come here. You have some faith, there is some Krishna. Maybe I don't see him, but he exists, like that, right? So Adao Shraddha, and then in Shraddha is firm faith or disinterest in the material affairs. And Tatha sadhu-sanga. So once you have some faith, what do? You start looking out for sadhu. Sadhus is devotees. So that's why you have come here to the temple. You have come to see the Lord. And you have also come to see the devotees. And so and as we progress through the devotional service, we will see the importance of devotees. Right? And that's what the topic today is, the importance of association and how you can reach your goal in life with that. A person who comes to the temple just for the purpose of seeing the Lord and comes inside, sees the Lord, walks out, is at the lowest level of devotional service. You come to the temple not only to see the Lord. Actually, we don't come here to see the Lord. We come here so that Lord can see us. And why would Lord want to see us? Lord would want to see us because we have done something. And that was one of the points of pure devotional service, which I was saying, is that you have to act favorably to Krishna. like that, right? So that's the lowest level of doing that. So higher, much higher is that you like to do sadhu-sanga. In fact, incidentally, one of the reasons I chose this topic here today is that there is a sadhu-sanga, big sadhu-sanga event which is happening on the East Coast in Orlando, in Florida, where about 4,000 plus sadhus from all over the world have come, actually majority from America. And I think half of ISV is already there, the sadhu-sanga. So people like that. They crave for sadhu association. If for some reason you are deprived of that association, they start feeling bad about it, because that's the influence of sadhu-sanga. And one of the things that you might have observed is that sometimes we are very much perplexed in life, something wrong is happening, and then we gravitate towards God, we come to the temple, we sit here for some time, and then we leave. And when we go back home, we are at a lot of peace with ourselves, right? We feel very good. And a lot of people always ask me that question, why do I feel very good when I go to the temple? Why do you feel very good when I go to a dham or a tirthan? Why do I feel like that, right? And the reason is that in these holy places, there are devotees. And those devotees are praying to the Lord, and they are emitting vibrations that purify that area or that environment. And that's why when you come into that environment, you feel good because you're affected by that vibrations, right? So that's the power of a devotee. Right? That's why people seek sadhu-sanga, right? So once you seek the association of devotees, you come here, and then you start looking at devotees as to what the devotees are doing. And so you see, like, everybody is chanting, at least here at ISKCON. So after some time, you'll go to the gift shop and you'll say, do you have a mala? Do you have a bead bag? And then you'll also start chanting. So that's the association of devotees that happens to you, right? So then you start doing things on your own. You don't have any direction. This is right or wrong. You're kind of following your heart and you do it, right? But things have to be done in a proper manner, right? Everywhere in your life, you do things in a proper manner, don't you? Right? Do you have complete freedom at work to do whatever you want? Yes? No? Right? So similarly, in devotional service also, we have to follow certain guidelines, certain rules, and certain regulations have to be followed. And so that's why when we see other people are following those regulations, then we want to also do that in a proper manner. And that is bhajana kriya, that you will start doing things in the proper manner. Right? For example, somebody might just go and say, okay, I want to give food to Krishna, like, hey, Krishna, come eat food. Okay, oh, come Krishna, come and eat food with me. Like that, you know. But then food has to be served in a proper manner to Krishna, right? So you learn all these proper methods and proper ways of doing things, dealings with other devotees as well. Right? And then once you start doing the bhajana kriya, the why do you do things in a proper manner? There'll be some regulations, some do's, some don'ts, and things like that. Why do you want to do that? Because ultimately you want to take diksha, you want to take initiation from a spiritual master, so that now you start doing devotional service in a more organized and a structured manner there. And then after that, anartha nivritti. So all the unwanted habits will go away. Anybody wants to share unwanted habits, yours or of others, that you've heard? Don't let the child win over you. Yeah, you can think about it, okay? Anybody else? Did I see a hand somewhere there? You have no bad habits? I can tell you about my bad habits. What are some bad habits people have?
Oversleeping.
Oversleeping. Thank you, Bhagavati Mataji. Sleeping more than necessary. Okay, along the same line, any bad habit related to that? Any other bad habit? Overeating? Okay, we'll come back to that when the lecture ends.
Watching too much TV.
Watching too much TV. Right? Overeating, watching too much TV, social media. Yes, I want you to work with me, participative, right? Yeah. Get frustrated easily. That's me. Yeah, so these are all these bad habits and they will go away. Right? So that's the interesting thing. Okay? They will go away and then you will have nishtha. You'll start to have firm faith. Because you started with some sort of a faith, right? You had little faith, then you came and met with devotees, your faith becomes stronger, you start doing things in a proper manner and you start seeing the results of that. then your faith is only going to go more strong, right? So that's how it goes. Now, there are more steps over there, but I just wanted to emphasize on the one in blue, which is sadhu-sanga, or association of pure devotees. Okay? Now, translation for that is, in the beginning, there must be faith, Shraddha. Then one becomes interested in associating with pure devotees. Thereafter, one is initiated by the spiritual master and executes the regulative principles under his orders. Thus, one is freed from all unwanted habits and becomes fixed in devotional service. So if you have unwanted habits, if you are in the habit of surfing on the social media, then it will be very difficult for you to focus on devotional service, right? Because the moment there's a ping on your cell phone, then you'll drop your japa beads and you'll go and want to see who texted me. Or if you posted something on Facebook, every now and then you like to go there and see how many likes did I get and how many people are watching and things like that, right? So these are anything towards our glorification, our unwanted habits, and are not good for devotional service, so we have to get rid of them. Thereafter, one is initiated by the spiritual master and executes the regulative principles under his orders. Then you are associating with your spiritual master. Now the question here is, it said Adav Shraddha, right? In the beginning, there is faith. Now, where do I get the faith from, right? It's in the beginning. I have no faith. Suppose. I mean, I know you all have got faith, but then what about people who don't have faith? How do you get faith? Shraddha, in the beginning there's faith. Even if there's a little amount of faith, that's fine. Faith over a period of time will get strong, right? In the beginning, it's very soft and very swaying. Anybody can sway you from this side to that side. They come and tell you about Vaishnavism, you're very good. Then somebody comes and tells you about Buddhism, you're like, oh yeah, that's good as well, and so on and so forth, right? But when your faith becomes strong, nobody can sway you from one direction to the other. You are fixed there. So, it's good to take baby steps. It's good to get started. How do I get faith? Very simple answer. You associate with those who have got faith. When you sit and stand with them, when you eat with them, wine and dine, no wine, but you associate with those who have got faith, is how you will get faith. So here's a verse again from Chaitanya Charitamrita, very famous. And you can all sing with me because I think you all know that. Sadhu-sanga, sadhu-sanga, sarva shastre kaya. Lava matra sadhu-sange, sarva siddhi hoya. It's from Bengali. So Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela talks about that. Sadhu-sanga, sadhu-sanga, which means associate with pure devotees. Now when you want to emphasize something, you will say that multiple times. So that's why in this verse they are saying, sadhu-sanga, sadhu-sanga, right? Twice they are emphasizing that. Sarva shastre koya. It says all the scriptures say that. And these are not just the Vedic scriptures. Scriptures from other faiths as well talk about that. Right? Shastra koya. Lava matra, even for a moment. So a lava is 1/11 of a second is a lava. Lava matra. So if you associate with a sadhu, even for such a small fraction of a time, which is a lava, just like that, right? Then you will get all the success. Now you might just wonder why does it happen like that, right? So I know a devotee from ISKCON, he used to work, American body, he used to work in as a cashier in one of the, Safeway kind of a store. And so once he was, ringing the counter, and just his eyes, it fell on something happening outside, and he saw something he was not very used to seeing, and which was he saw a monk in saffron robes. He was just walking by. He was a Hare Krishna monk. He just walked by, so he just looked at them, and that's it. But that image formed in his head. And then 20 years later, when he came across Hare Krishna, this image came back again into his mind. And then, finally, ultimately, he became a devotee, became a Vaishnava. So you never know. You never know. Just by associating, just by helping, and you will get the mercy of these devotees without you even knowing it. For example, if you are driving on a freeway and you give way, allow another car to pass. I mean, usually we don't allow, right? We don't like people overtaking us on the freeways. So if you allow somebody to pass, and in that car, in that vehicle, suppose there was a sannyasi who was on his way to the airport and he really wanted to be at the airport in time, right? So you did not even do that. But you will get some credits for having done that. That's known as agyata sukriti. You don't even know why, but you get the seed of devotional service gets planted in you, and you start getting the faith like that, right? So even by association, without unknowing association also with a sadhu is going to have its effect on you. Okay? So then sadhu-sanga, sarva shastra koya. So all the shastras are saying that, you should have sadhu-sanga. You should have sadhu-sanga. You should associate with sadhu. Sadhus means devotees, right? I'm not talking about the ones with the beard necessarily and long hair. They could be sadhus as well. But so what happens when there is sadhu-sanga, when sadhus are sitting together? What exactly happens, right? I mean, there's sadhu-sanga one going on in Orlando. I talked about that. Famous from our scriptures are when the sages of Naimisharanya, they all assemble and they're trying to do a yagya. They have got questions and Bhagavatam gets spoken there. There is Maharaj Parikshit who was cursed to die. And he also goes and sits by the side of Ganges. Sadhus from all over the world, they come to join that assembly. So what exactly happens at these sadhu-sanga, right? So there's a nice verse, and we can, I will speak and you can repeat after me, okay? Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hritkarna rasayana kathaha Tajyoshanad ashva apavarga vartmani Shraddha ratir bhaktiranu kramishyati. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 25th chapter, verse 25, where Kapil Dev, who's the incarnation of Lord Krishna, he's teaching devotional service to his mother, Devahuti. Okay? And there he's talking about this word. So what does it say? What does it mean? So let's go over the translation. Again, translations, I always look at the audience to help me out, because then I'll grab and drink some water in between. So who's got the mic? Any takers who want to read? You want to read? Okay, kids are trending. Go for it. Go. Okay, somebody else? Below the translation.
Okay. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service
begins, right? So if you try to do things in isolation, we think that, oh, I'm very good, I just stay at home, I'm sitting on the Himalayas, I'm a Mahatma, I'm meditating, I don't need any devotees around you. That's no devotional service. Devotional service actually begins in the association of devotees. And actually, when Prahlad Maharaj, when Nrsimha Dev was offering benedictions to Prahlad Maharaj did not want to go anywhere. He just wanted to stay here and take care of the fallen souls. So that's the nature of devotees, right? They want to stay in devotee association or make others who are not devotees into devotees there. So then the question comes is that all these nice things are happening, so people are discussing. There are so many events that are happening. Where should I go? Who should I associate with? How will I know who is a devotee, who is not a devotee, right? Now, this is a Kali Yuga. There are so many fake things also that are going on there, right? So what will be your litmus test to say who to associate with? So what was the goal of her life? Somebody told us the goal of her life? Yeah. Good. I can't hear, and those online can't hear either.
Pure devotional service.
Pure devotional service. Okay, good. Thank you for 500 points. The who to associate with, if our goal is to get pure devotional service, then I should be associating with those who are going to help me get pure devotional service. Right or right? Right? So, the best thing to do is to go associate with somebody who's dear to Krishna, because that's what you're trying to find, right? That's your goal is. You're trying to reach Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So go to one who's dear to Krishna, because those who are dear to Krishna will help you find him. So, but who is dear to Krishna? Right? So, if we look at Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter, which is about devotional service, towards the end of it, Krishna tells about this, right? About who are pure devotees of the Lord. So, who are the ones that he likes? So, again, sing with me. Samaha shatrau cha mitre cha tatha mana apamana yoho shitoshna sukha dukkheshu samasanga vivarjita tulya ninda stutir mani santushto yena kenachit aniketah sthir matir Bhaktiman me priyo naraha. So he's saying, Sama shatraucha mitrecha. So one who is equal to friends and enemies. How easy is that? On a scale of 1 to 10, how easy it is to be Sama shatraucha mitrecha? We have one honest person, for sure. Yeah, it is very, very difficult to be equal to friends and enemies, right? To be equipoised in honor and dishonor. How difficult it is or how easy it is on a scale of 1 to 10. To be equipoised in honor and dishonor. 1 again, right? To be equipoised, right? Tatha man apana yoho. Shito shun sukha dukkheshu. Heat and cold. It's the same, right? So what do we do? You know, I remember when I first landed in USA, I was in Michigan, and people used to tell me something which I found very interesting because that kind of weather was not there in India from where I am originally. So they said, well, you know what? In the morning, when we go to office, we switch the air conditioner on in the car. In the evening, when I'm coming back, I switch on the heat. So, you know, in the span of 8 hours or 9 hours that you're there, there's so much of fluctuation. And there is no tolerance from our side. It's hot. Let's switch on the AC. It's cold. Switch on the heat, right? We are not the same. To us, heat and cold are not the same. That we are suffering from the dualities of this world, right? So he's saying that heat and cold, happiness and distress. So what happens when we are distressed? What are some of the things that we do when we are distressed? Anybody would like to confess? Or tell us about somebody else who acted when they were distressed?
We get depressed
I cry.
and irritated.
Okay, you cry, okay.
We get depressed and irritated.
When you are depressed, what do?
We get irritated.
You get irritated. Okay, you get irritated at who? Okay, we irritated at everybody. We throw things. Right? We shout. Right? So, and then when we are happy, then also we shout, right? Right? So it's difficult also to be same, you know, equipoised in happiness and in distress. Fame and infamy, same thing, right? Who is always free from contaminating association. This is so very important, to be free from contaminating association. When you are in devotional service, when you are on the path to devotional service and you are on your path to find true love of God, then you will avoid contaminating association. Right? It's not like I will sin today and then I'll go and do a few japamalas and it's cancelled. It's not like that, right? That's contaminating association. Or, you know, being in association with people who are non-devotees, right? So one of the things that you have to remember is that when we talk about association, and we looked at the meaning of the word association in the beginning of the class, right? And one of the meanings of association was that you believe in it and you are supportive of something, right? That is association. Because here we are talking about you associate with devotees, and then also saying do not associate with non-devotees because that's a contaminating association. Your immediate question will be, come Tuesday, I have to go to office, and how do I guarantee that they are all devotees? I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they are not, right? So then I have to go out on lunch with them, and my job demands or requires that sometimes I have to go out on dinners also with my client and customer. Then I'm sitting on the same table and they're eating things that I don't eat. How do I get out of this association? Right? So to understand that is not association. Association means you believe in that and you are supportive of that, right? And when you're supportive of that, that means that you will also do the same thing, right? So then you go there, you said that this party is doing something, you will also do that. And that is why Vaisheshika Prabhu always says that in many of his lectures, that what is the easiest way to become a drunkard? You go and associate with drunkards. Because then you have faith, you will go there, right? They will order a drink, you will order a drink. They will say, let's order one more, you will also let's order one more, right? That is association when you believe from your mind and you're convinced in your mind that what you're doing there is the right thing, right? That is association. Having to go out and attend parties where booze is served is a different thing. Because in your hearts, you're not appreciating that. In your hearts, you're not even approving that. But there are circumstances in your life where you have to go and do that, right? And this is Kali Yuga. You won't find purity everywhere, right? Like that. So he's saying that you have free from the honor and dishonor, free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything. So always silent. So if a devotee has to be always silent, then at least some of you are doing that in the class, not answering my questions, you mean silent. And I'm not doing that because I'm talking, right, 60-30. So silence over here means a very different thing. Silence here means that a devotee of the Lord doesn't talk about nonsense, will not gossip, will not criticize. So he has that kind of a silence, right? And not silence that I'm going to take a Maun Vrat. Because the biggest thing that we have to do is, not only silencing the mouth, but we also have to silence our mind, right? Which constantly goes on 24/7 in our heads. So here we are talking about silence, and satisfied with anything, good or bad, fame, infamy, heat, cold. I'm just satisfied. You got a raise, did not get a raise, you got an applause, did not get an applause. Satisfied with everything, right? Who doesn't care for any residence, right? So in the beginning, you get a house, and I don't know how much houses are going for right now, but they were pretty cheap 30 years ago. And then so it's like 1, 2, double income, single kid. How many bedrooms do you need? Okay, 1 for the parents, 1 for the child, 1 for the guests, 3 bedrooms. But then you go and buy 5 bedrooms because somebody else bought it. And then he wants 7 bedrooms, and somebody else is constructing a 9-bedroom house. So it keeps on increasing like that, right? This one doesn't care about any residence. Whether you have a roof on your head, you don't have a roof on your head, it doesn't matter. Srila Prabhupada, who you see sitting on the Vyasasana here, Srila Prabhupada left everything. He took sannyas. He left India and he came here. He had no place, no idea of where he's going to stay, who's going to take care of his finances, nothing at all. He was completely dedicated. Did not care about the residence. Did not care whether he's in India, whether he was in Vrindavan, whether he was in the middle of the hippies here in America. Right? Doesn't care about the residence. Who is fixed in knowledge. Right? He's fixed in the knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And more importantly, I am not him. I am not God. Right? You have to have that knowledge. Right? Jnana karmadi anavritam. We read that, right? Definition of pure devotional service. And who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. So this should be our aim and this should be our goal in life. Right? That try practicing this. Try practicing being equal to friends and enemies. It's very difficult, being equal to enemies. But at least start with, behaving properly with so-called enemies of ours. Who is our biggest enemy? Huh? The mind is the biggest enemy, correct. So then we talk, Krishna says, Bhaktaste ati priya, he's priya to me, right? So he's saying that devotee who's got all these characteristics is dear to me, so we should try to associate with people who have got these characteristics. But then one who is most dear to Krishna Who is most dear to Krishna, right? So let's see. Ye tu dharma mritamidam yathoktam paryupasate shraddhana mat parma bhaktaste tiva me priyaha. So Krishna has spoken the Bhagavad Gita. This is the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He's talked about lot knowledge of the absolute. He's talked about the soul, difference from the body, karma yoga, dhyana yoga. He's come all the way from there, and he's shown the universal form to Arjuna, and now he's talking about a devotional service, right? So, a lot of scriptures and gurus will tell you the do's and the don'ts, right? The dharma to be followed, the adharma to be avoided. They're going to tell you that. And Krishna has told so much to Arjuna by the time it is 12th chapter. So he's saying, Ye tu dharma mitamidam yathoktam paryupasate. So he says that whoever follows this dharma that I have said, that I am now pronouncing, right? So those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me, right? So he's emphasizing that ativ me priya, you know, very, very dear to me. And what is, who are those? What are they doing? What are the things that they're doing? There are two things that Krishna points out here. What are the two things, two characteristics of these who are very, very dear to Krishna?
They are following the path, imperishable path.
They're following the path of Krishna, that's one. Okay. What else do they do?
They engage themselves with faith.
They engage themselves with faith. Okay. They make Krishna the supreme goal. Oh, was there an answer? Did it come from the, was that Akashvani? I didn't hear that. Could you repeat it again? The answer, please. Okay. So, those who follow, so he's saying that, there'll be people who will be teaching, there will be people who will be preaching, but we have to preach, we have to also follow what we preach, right? And also follow what we read. So just going there to a sadhu-sanga, coming here to the temple, listening to all the lectures, and saying, oh, this was fantastic. And I read the Bhagavatam, oh, I love it, right? Oh, Krishna's Bhagavad Gita, it's amazing philosophy. It's mind-boggling, amazing. I'm so proud I'm an Indian. Like that, right? Instead of, that's just talk, right? Bhakti is doing something about it, right? So when you apply all these things that you have, yathoktam paripasate, whatever Krishna has spoken, you apply those in your life, and you're applying that, that person is very dear to Krishna. So, we should associate with them, right? So we're saying associated people Krishna likes, and we also talked about the kind of people that Krishna likes. Now we have to find them, and then we have to associate with them. Now, what do these people do? These devotees of Krishna, what do they do? Okay? So in the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, the 4 potent shloks of Bhagavad Gita, which are in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verses 8, 9, 10, and 11. So this is the 9th verse in the 10th chapter. And it says, Machitta madgata prana. Okay, I want some more energy from you all. Come on. Machitta madgata prana bodhayantaha parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So he's saying, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. So these are the goals that we are setting for ourselves, right? The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service. And they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Okay? So this is such a stark contrast from the conversations or the thoughts that others have who are in the materialistic frame of life. right? You go and watch any reels that pop on your face on YouTube when you try to go and listen to something devotional. All kinds of nonsense also comes across your way, right? And people are just talking ill about this one, bad thing about that person, writing blogs, all that, constantly criticizing one person or the other person, criticizing the government, criticizing the players, criticizing the film actors, criticizing who all, right? The teachers, the administration, all the time, yap, that is going on. But these devotees, what do? They talk about Krishna all the time. They do not criticize anyone. So, why should I take association of these people? Why should I go to such places where we are glorifying Krishna? Others are glorifying Krishna. Why should I do that? Because Krishna is confirming this in Padmanand as to what he does. So he's saying, Naham tisthami vaikunthe yoginam hridayeshu va tatra tisthami narada yatra gayanti mat bhaktaha. So Krishna is making very bold statements over here, right? He says, Narada is talking to Narad, and he's saying that, my dear Narada, actually I do not reside in my abode. We all know that Krishna lives in Vaikuntha, right? The planets where there is no kuntha, there is no misery, right? No heat or cold, no distress, no infamy, like that, right? So he stays there in Vaikuntha. Nor do I reside within the hearts of the yogis. Yogis here talks about yogis who are meditating on the Lord to get some mystic powers. I don't reside in the hearts of those yogis either. But I reside in that place where my pure devotees chant my holy name and discuss my form, pastimes, and my qualities. Right? So when you go to these places where the devotees are there and you associate with the sadhus there, guarantee that Krishna is also there. Okay? So you're associating with Krishna through them. And when you go to these places where the devotees are and you associate with them, there is a power in that association that is able to transform you. Right? We saw a very mundane association of the chameleon who sits on a rock, becomes grey in color, sits on a leaf, becomes green in color. That's also association, right? And so when you look at the transformative effect of association, things will happen to you, changes will come to you, depending on what you are associating with. So as kids in school, in kindergarten level, the teachers will ask you to do this exercise for the kids. So they will say, okay, now take 2 glasses of water. One water is hot, one has got cold water. And then in both of them, you take 2 ice cubes and you put them in that. And they'll tell the child what happens to the ice, right? So the ice in the hot water completely dissolves, goes away. The one in the cold water stays for some time, right? Now if you were to take that ice and keep it instead in the refrigerator freezer section, it won't have melted at all, right? So the environment and your association has an impact on you. That we have to understand. Okay? Like iron, when it comes in contact with fire, Prabhupada gives this example all the time. When it comes in contact with fire, it starts to behave like fire. Okay? Like if you take a simple iron rod and you touch that rod to a piece of paper, nothing is going to happen. Now you take that same iron rod and you put it in the furnace and take it out when it looks like this and touch it to the paper. It'll burn the paper. Why? Because being in association with the fire, it's inheriting the qualities of fire, and that is to burn. Right? So similarly, when we are in contact with the devotees, then their qualities will also get in us, right? So we'll take some examples from the scriptures about this transformative power of association. So Haridas Thakur is from Sri Chaitanya Leela. About 500 years ago, Krishna and Radha combined came here. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi, pure devotee. Of course, he is Radha and Krishna combined. Radha is the best devotee of the Lord. And so there were others around him who were jealous. Okay? So if you're jealous, you're not a pure devotee. It's an unwanted habit. So Haridas Thakur, so they wanted to defame him. So what they did was they paid money to a prostitute and said that, you go and you do your thing and then we'll catch him red-handed. So the prostitute was a very beautiful, very rich prostitute, very much sought after. And so she said, oh, don't worry, I'll go tonight. And so she goes there to meet him in his kuti. And Haridas Thakur used to chant a lot of names of the Lord, 3 lakhs, and he would not eat until he had completed his rounds of chanting. So when this lady comes there, a prostitute comes there, she is standing there, as you can see, in a pose, trying to entice him. And Haridas Thakur says, I will honor you, I will do whatever you want me to do, let me finish my rounds. She said, okay. So she stood there, and Haridas Thakur chanted, the whole night he chanted. And then the rounds were finished, it was morning. So the prostitute left. Then the second day she again came. Second day also the same thing happened. Now the people who were paying her were not happy with that, so they were after her. She said, no, today is the third day. I will do what you want me to do, and then you can come there, be ready. So then she goes there, and Haridas Thakur does the same thing. He says, let me finish my rounds of chanting, and then I will honor you. And so Haridas Thakur has closed his eyes and he's chanting. When his rounds finish, he opens his eyes. And lo and behold, he sees that the prostitute is sitting in front of him and she's chanting. So that is the power of association. So Haridas Thakur was such a pure devotee of the Lord that a prostitute could not touch her. Instead, the prostitute got transformed. And then she gave away all her money, she shaved off her head. And then she became a devotee and a disciple of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, by the way, is the incarnation of Brahma in this Leela. Then we also see Bhakta Dhruv. So Dhruv was insulted by his stepmother, and he wanted to get a kingdom better than his great-grandfather, who is Brahma. And so he goes to his mom, the original mom, the biological mom, and he says, I want to get a kingdom better than my great-grandfather. And the mom says, okay, you know what? That's something only God can do. So you go find God. So he goes out to the forest to find him. And in the middle, he finds and meets Narada Muni, who is an exalted devotee of the Lord. And so Narada Muni talks to him, tries to get him out of this, saying it's just a mom, she scolded you, come on, go back, you're a small child, 5 years old, how will you live in the forest and all that, right? But he insists and persists, and he says, no, I want to do that. So then Narada Muni gives him the mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, to chant. And Dhruv Maharaj chants that. And for 6 months, he does very rigorous penance and very rigorous prayers and devotional service he does. And then he sees God. So Lava Matra sadhu-sanga, he associated with Narad Muni just for a short time, right? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour maximum, right? But then look at the impact and the effect that he has, that just by that he was able to see God. And not only that, God even gave him a planet of his own, Dhruv, that does not get destroyed. It's a transcendental planet, the polar star, right? So he got the planet, and then of course he ruled here for 35,000 years, and at the end he went back to Godhead. So the impact of association, and associating with a pure devotee, a strong devotee, the vibrations are very strong and the impact is also very strong. Bhakta Prahlad. At least Dhruv Maharaj was 5 years old. Bhakta Prahlad was born in a demoniac family. Who was his father? Hiranyakashipu, right? Who was the mother? Kayadu, right? So always there is a fight between good and the bad, good and the evil. So there's always this fight happening between suras or demigods who are devotees of the Lord and the asuras who don't believe in God. So there's always this fight that used to happen, still happens, right? So once the Devtas were victorious and Hiranyakashipu was away in the Himalayas, he was doing some penances. And So that was a good time. So the Devtas all come and attack, and they were victorious. And then they found that Kayadu is carrying a baby. So they said, okay, now that's the last of the demon, we'll kill that person also. So they were dragging Kayadu with the intention of killing. But then Narad Muni stops them and says, hey, don't do that, because actually there's a devotee in that womb. And then while Prahlad Maharaj is in the womb, Narada Muni is teaching to the mom. And we all know that the fetus listens, right? So Prahlad Maharaj got the association of Narad Muni while he was in the womb of his mom. And the rest is history. We know that, right? Despite all the tortures, anything that his father did not do, everything, right? And he was sent to a school where there were demoniac teachers, his playfellows were all sons of demons, sons and daughters of demons and all that. And what is Prahlad Maharaj doing there? He teaches the demons. From all that he's learned from the womb, from all that remote association with a pure devotee of the Lord, he was able to do that. And look at the other children in the class. They're all supportive of him. So he was able to have that kind of impact. And then, of course, in the end, Lord Narasimha Dev himself comes to protect him. Right? All because of the mercy of devotee Narad Muni. That there. So then, how do I get this association? How does this happen to me, right? So Krishna says to Uddhava in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, he says, firm faith in the blissful narrations of my pastime. So this, you see, faith is being repeated again and again. Faith has to be there, right? Constant chanting of my glories, unwavering attachment to ceremonial worship of me, praising me through beautiful hymns, great respect for my devotional service, offering obeisances with the entire body, performing first-class worship of my devotees, consciousness of me in all living entities, offering of ordinary bodily activities in my devotional service, use of words to describe my qualities, offering the mind to me. Offering the mind to Krishna is the most difficult thing. Right? Because it goes everywhere, here, there, right? So I picked up performing first-class worship of my devotee. That's an easy thing for you to do, right? Once you do that, Krishna saying, do that. Rejection of all material desires, giving up wealth for my devotional service, renouncing material sense gratification and happiness, and performing all desirable activities such as charity, sacrifice, chanting, vows, and austerities with the purpose of achieving me. So you do all that not for ourselves. You don't do that, keep vratas for ourselves, right? We diet to get a good figure, but we diet, we go fast for Krishna's pleasure. We don't eat certain things for Krishna's pleasure, like that, right? So all these constitute actual religious principles. He's talking about what are religious principles to Uddhava and says these are actual religious principles by which those human beings who have actually surrendered themselves to me automatically develop love for me. What other purpose of goal could remain for my devotee? Right? Prema Pumarto Mahan. Right? That's the highest goal that a human being will have, is to have love of Godhead. And here he's giving you the clue. How do you get that? So low-hanging fruit. Serve the devotees of the Lord. And so in the Sanskrit part of this verse, he says, Mad Bhakta Puja Bhidhika. So my devotees of the Lord, you should serve them in a preeminent way. Very, very preeminently, you should serve the devotees of the Lord. And then you will get faith, and then you'll get association. But then why? Why should I serve the devotees of the Lord? What happens, right? Why should I do that, right? So, in Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto, this is the verse here. Mahat sevam dwaram ahur vimuktes tamo dwaram yoshitam sangi sangam mahantaste samachitta prashanta vimanyava suhida sadhuvoye. So, Mahat Sevam. So basically he's saying, has served to service to the spiritually advanced persons called Mahatvas. Right? So Mahatmas, the word Mahatma is used for those who are spiritually advanced. And not anybody and everybody is a Mahatma. We just don't call them like that. The yardstick is that they should be devotees of the Lord. Right? So that service is the way to achieve Krishna. Right? So in the translation, Prabhupada says that one can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees. Whether one wants to merge into the Lord's existence or wants to associate with the personality of Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. Right? It's a very, very bold thing and something that shakes us out because we always go against impersonalism and those who think they are God and all that. But even those people who are impersonalists or who think they are God, they do some devotional service in their life. They do have regulative principles. They do go through austerities. So what this verse is saying is that, if there is an opportunity there or a situation is there, you won't turn around and say, I won't serve them. You should serve. Of course, the best thing is to serve one who is a devotee of Krishna. But the key thing over here to capture in our minds is that it is the only way. It is the only way. There's no other way. There's no other way. There's no other way. You have to do devotional service of Lord. The Shastras are saying that, right? That's why sadhu-sanga, sarva shastra koya, right? So if you do sadhu-sanga, and what is exactly sangha? Sangha doesn't mean you just come sit in the assembly of sadhus and go. You serve the sadhus as well, right? For those who are not interested in such activity, now this interesting thing also, you can have association of non-Mahatmas also. For those who are not interested in such activities, those who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. It is a very, very strong statement, and you see the catch. The path to hell is open. For those, not those who are fond of women and sex. He's saying you are fond of people. If you are associating with people who are fond of women and sex and all that thing, right? If you associate with such people, your path to hell is also open. Why? Because of association, you will get their properties, right? You are the average of 5 people that you associate with, right? So he's saying, so then the Mahatmas are equipoised, and equipoised was something that we were looking for in the chapter from Bhagavad Gita where we're talking about those who are favorites of Krishna. They're equipoised, right? They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful and are fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in any abominable way. Such people are known as Mahatmas. Now, who would not want to associate with a Mahatma, right? So, these Mahatmas, they can have an influence on you. And we want to be influenced in a positive manner. For example, Narad Muni in his previous life was the son of a maid servant. And during the Chaturmas, he didn't have a father. And during the Chaturmas, there were some Mahatmas who were assembled in one place because they don't move because of the water and the rains and the floods. So they stay there and then they do mat chitta mat gata prana bodhayantas parasparam. They will just sit and discuss about God. So they were discussing that. And this Narada in his previous life served these Mahatmas, washing their dishes, bringing things for them and all that. And they were so pleased with him that they gave him devotional service and they gave him knowledge of devotional service there, right? And in that previous birth, his mom died when he was young. He searched for God, but he did not find God. God actually showed him a trailer. He saw a flash when he was meditating, but then flash disappeared. And then he tried to close his eyes and bring that flash again, but he could not get that. And then he heard a grave voice telling him that you will not be able to see me now because there are still some anarthas in you which you need to cleanse. And then after Narad in his previous birth, after he dies, then after a long time, he takes birth again as this Narada. He pursues his devotional service and finally sees God, right? And gets this benediction that he'll be preaching all over the place, right? So it was the influence of those Mahatmas who influenced Narad. And now we all know that Narad influenced Dhruva, Narad influenced Prahlad, Narad influenced so many things. You can open the Srimad Bhagavatam and see the influence that he has. So these devotees are able to influence us if we go into their association, right? Narad also gave guidance to Vyasadeva, his disciple, and Vyasadeva didn't know when he wrote the Vedanta Sutras, he wrote the commentary on them, translated Bhagavatam, everything he did, he was not very happy. And then Narad was able to guide him and say that you write something that talks about God and only about God. And that's when he wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? Now, if I do not do this, if I do not pursue the path of devotional service, if I don't go for association of devotees, what do we do? Right? So this world is a world of duality. There's this and that, right? For example, there's this water lying here. Either I will drink this water or I will not drink it, right? So if I don't associate with the devotees, I will still do some association, right? So I will associate with non-devotees. And that is a dangerous thing. That will lead to bad association. And Benjamin Franklin, one of the presidents of America, says on bad association, he says, if you lie down with dogs, you will get up with fleas. Right? And that's what's going to happen. So if we associate with bad people, we will get their habits. Bad company, always remember, leads to unwanted consequences. That's why we are very worried about the children, right? Are they getting into bad company? Right? Because they will imbibe. And nothing like peer pressure. KK. Bad association. For how long? Couple of hours. Right? Mantra came and told her all nonsense. And KK was completely turned around. Right? Jagai and Madhai from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Leela. They were born in Brahmana families. Bad association. They become murderers and rapists. Even, hit Nityanand Prabhu. Like that. Bad association. Karna. You hear so many good things about Karna. Danveer Karna. Everything nice about him, right? Bad association. Duryodhan. Right? So if we associate in the wrong manner, this is what's going to happen. So association starts with contemplation. So we have to understand this, how this world operates. And Bhagavad Gita tells us in a couple of verses, Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangaste chopi jayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bijayate. So he's saying, while contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them. And from such attachment, lust develops. And from lust, anger arises. So how does anger arise from lust? Why would anger arise from lust? Lust is desiring something.
Because you can't get it. You can't get something that you are lusting for. Then you get
Anger. Very good. So he said that if you are lusting for something and you don't get it, then you get anger. So kama is lusting or desiring something, and krodha is anger. So krodha is the younger brother of kama. First kama is born and then krodha is born, right? And then continuing on, so when the krodha has come, then what happens? Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammoha smriti vibramaha, smriti bhramshat buddhi nasho, buddhi nashat pranashyati. So it says, okay, from anger, now you got angered, complete delusion arises, because it's only in anger we do things that would have never thought in a cool mind to do. Right? We completely go out of control. Buddhi, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, the bewilderment of memory happens. So you forget all the right things, the do's and the don'ts. You forget all that. And your intelligence is also lost, because intelligence doesn't have a database to refer to. That is it good or is it bad? Right? So intelligence is completely lost. And when intelligence is lost, you will fall down again into this material pool and keep on doing the same thing over and over again and again. So we have to remember this, that our senses are outreaching. They always go out towards the objects of the senses. Their eyes are always looking at things. Our senses are always out. They're like the cell phone, always looking for signal. So our senses are also looking always for, like, is there something for me to see? Ears are constantly tuned to, is there some sound that is happening? Like that, right? Senses are always looking out for something. And all this happens because there are two weaknesses of our heart. And they are listed in the purport of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 20, where Prabhupada says, the most important thing one has to surmount the weakness of the heart. The first fall down that happens to us is caused by the desire to lord it over material nature. So I want to have this, I want to have that. I will go to a car shop and look at all the good models of the car, right? So my senses are engaging with that. And then I start contemplating, thinking about how do I get that car? Right? So this is how it happens. The first fall down is caused by the desire to lord it over material nature. Thus one gives up the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. The second weakness of the heart is that as one increases the propensity to lord it over the material nature, he becomes attached to matter and the possession of matter. Right? So one is that you walk by a showroom every day and you admire the car. And you're thinking, oh, it's a good car. Now, slowly what is happening, you will want to buy that car. Or, get attached to the concept of having the car. Or if you have a car, you'll be attached to it, you won't let anybody touch it. Like that, right? So this is what happens. The problems of material existence are due to the weaknesses of our heart. So that heart has to be made strong. And that heart becomes strong when we get the vibrations from external good devotees of the Lord by associating with them, that everything which is dirty in our heart gets washed out. Right? So satam prasangam mama virya samvido. So when we are in the association of devotees where they are glorifying the Lord, that Krishna Katha enters from our ear and goes into our heart. And whatever is abhadram, whatever is dirty in our heart, gets cleansed in our heart. So, one of the things I wanted to emphasize here, and I've been doing that in the part also, is that from a person who is seeking association of devotees, pure devotees of the Lord, right? From seeking, you should be moving towards becoming like that, right? Because you can always be a standby person and admire. Oh, Prabhupada was so great. Oh, Vaishachika Prabhu is so great. Oh, Radhanath Swami Maharaj is so great. Everybody is very great and I'm so good, I appreciate. Right? But you try to become like them. That should be our aim in life. So just, don't stay a seeker forever of the Mahatmas. Try to become a Mahatma yourself. Right? And so internal practice has to be done. Most of the thing is internal. External is fine. You'll come, you'll clean the temple, you'll go press somebody's feet, and all that is there. But the internal cleansing and the internal practice is very important because that reflects externally. What's going on in our mind comes out. Right? There was a catch question that I read somewhere. That was that a person was walking with coffee in his hand, and there was a cup of coffee in his hand. And then he stumbles and he falls. And of course the cup just flies off and the coffee is all over the floor. So the question was, why was the coffee on the floor, or why did the coffee come out? And so people give so many answers. There are physicists who will talk about gravity, and people who are mind control, they'll talk about the mind and all that. And the simple answer for that was the coffee came out because there was coffee in the cup. Right? And what it's trying to emphasize here is that whatever is inside you comes out. Right? So internal practice reflects externally. So you need to keep that in mind. So embody Krishna's favorite traits. Just try to embody that in there. Also, try to associate with people who are better than you. Always. Because Confucius says, if you are the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. Because what will you learn? You already know everything. Your mind is already shut, right? And the words that prevent anything from getting inside you is, I know that. Right? But when you go to a place where people are more advanced than you are, you're like, oh, I don't know this, I don't know that, I need to go back and read. Oh, they are quoting from Laghu Bhagavatamrita, I should go back and read. That's when your progress will happen, when you associate with people who are better than you. And that's when you associate with people who are wise, your character is going to be improved. So in your real life, you can get inspirations from your gurus, from your mentors. You can have mentors in different categories. You can have a tax mentor, you can have a marital mentor, you can have a mentor for your devotional service as well, right? So Vaisheshika Prabhu always says, collect mentors, they are very helpful for you. Something happened, Ramandasaka Prabhu, technical help. So Guru and mentors, you can also search with devotees that you admire. If there are no devotees around you, there are so many devotees in the scriptures. How about admiring Narada? Like that, So then Shastra, Prahlad, admire him. Dhruv Maharaj. Their qualities can also grow in us. So that's the good thing. Whatever their qualities are, we can have those qualities also with us. Some of the practical things that you can do is you can come to the temple. There's a lot of devotees here. Serve the devotees here, serve the temple. You can join sanghas, join some study groups, go with them, right? Serve with others. There'll be a lot of opportunities today after prasadam. Practice, practice tolerance, contentment, gratitude, difficult things, but speak mindfully, control your tongue. And speaking is not only speaking is also texting these days, right? These days I always say in my office, why do we write everything that we have to talk? Can't you just pick up the phone? So much writing we do, right? Anyway, and then also deepen your bhakti. Always deepen your bhakti by reading scriptures, practicing. So to summarize a couple of things in mind, association shapes our subtle body, our mind, our intelligence, right? It shapes your subtle body. It can shape your gross body also. Do you agree? How does it shape your gross body? How do you think association can shape your gross body? Gross body is this body that you see, right? How do you think it will shape? I can understand shaping my mind by staying with devotees and associating with them. They are talking about Krishna Katha, so I'm listening to Krishna Katha, so there's internal purification that's happening. But how does it shape your gross body? By getting prasadam. Yes, right? So when you eat prasadam, when you eat sattvic things, then it shapes your body. And then bad association can also impact your gross body. Right? In addition to the subtle body, like if you hang around with people who drink, then you're also going to drink. If you hang around with people who eat 6 burgers, then you'll also eat, right? Like that. One moment with the devotee, lava matra sadhu-sanga, lifetime of change. And we saw examples of that happening. Bhakti will grow through sangha, no doubt about that, and that's the only way. And also you have to augment that with personal cultivation. You have to do work on your side. Anushilanam, you have to work as well. And then your aim should be the company that you wish to find. So if you want to wish and have soft people around you, you be soft. If you want to have honest people around you, you be honest. If you want to be devotees, if you want to have devotees around you, you try to be a devotee yourself. And then Krishna is going to arrange everything for you. So association, remember, determines your thoughts, your habits, and ultimately the path, which will lead you to your goal there. So Prabhupada said association is very powerful. If we associate with a materialistic person, then we become infected. He uses the word infected, right? Not strong. And if we associate with the devotees, then we become purified. And his own life is an example of, how he came here and gave constant, non-stop association to the hippies and devotees, non-devotees, all kinds to the last 13, 14 years of his life, going around this world so many times and with frail health. And look at the result of that, right? We all here, thanks to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Then I'd like to close this class with this a couple of verses here. One is from Vritasura. He was actually a devotee, Chitraketu, who was cursed to become a demon. And then he has a fight with Indra. I think you can see Indra sitting on his Airavat there. And Indra kills him in the end. But interesting thing is that as he dies, he's singing this. Aham hare tav padai kamula dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuyah manah smareta shupatir gunamste grinitava karma karotu kayah. So he says that, O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet? O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant, so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes, my words always glorify those attributes, and my body always engage in the loving service of their lordships. Right? So it's such a nice way to end your life. That you're wanting and you're asking for devotional service of the Lord and asking for association of the devotees. Even Maharaj Parikshit, when he sees Sukdev Goswami come to the arena where he was sitting, he says, again offering obeisances unto all Brahmanas, I pray that if I should again take my birth in the material world, I will have complete attachment to the unlimited Lord Krishna, association of his devotees, and friendly relationships with all the living entities. Okay, so thank you so much, and we are exactly at 5 o'clock here, so we are ready to. We are ready to go to the next segment of our Sunday program, and that would be Arati. So before we do that, we will carefully put away these cushions, and we will, gentlemen on that side and ladies on this side. And do we know who's doing? Are you doing it? All right. So Kuldeep Pran Prabhu is going to do the Arati. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha gopremanande Hari Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. So if you have parked your car in our parking space, because today is a Sunday, and in Sundays we expect a bigger crowd, so it's very inconvenient to distribute prasadam. So please remove your car from the parking space, because there are more parking space available on the street. You can find a one. Thank you for your consideration. Hare Krishna. Yes, Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Namayang Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namayo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschato Deshotarine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine nirvishesha sunnavadi paschato desatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Adaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Adaita Gadadhar Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga, 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 Nitai 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 Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Everybody together. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hidai Gaur Sitaat Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jaya Vishwat Paramahansa Parivar Sakacharya Ashtottara Sadhu Krishna Kripa Simurti Srila Abhay Charana Ravindu Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON BBT Sansthapak Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai of Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivar Sakacharya Ashtottara Sadhu Krishna Kripa Simurti Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai of विष्णुपाद परमहंस साक्षात वैराग्य मूर्ति श्रील गौर किशोरदास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस सच्चिदानंद श्रील भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्रील जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज के ब्रह्म मध्य गौरीय संप्रदाय आचार्य परंपरा की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंदों के नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की श्री रूप श्री सनातन श्री जीव श्री गोपाल भट्ट श्री रघुनाथ दास श्री रघुनाथ भट्ट शारद गोस्वामी प्रभु की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदों की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड श्री गिरिराज गोवर्धन की श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की श्री पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की श्री गंगा माई जमुना माई की श्री भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी वृंदा देवी की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की भुवनव्यापी हरिनाम संकीर्तन महा महा महायज्ञ की श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन सिंह महाप्रभु श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह श्री पंचतत्व गुरु परंपरा संध्याकालीन आरती की आरतीतांशकारी सकल गौर भक्त वृंद के हृदय गौर शीतनाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All grace to the assembled devotees, all grace to the assembled devotees, all grace to the assembled devotees, all grace to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all grace to Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Next we will have Nrsingadev Arati, and we are dedicating today's Nrsingadev Arati to Brian Layton, who was in his mid-40s, who passed away this morning. He has 2 small kids, and we pray Lordships to grant him a shelter at his lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please have a seat, everybody. Please have a seat. Sit down, please. We will be singing Nrsingadev prayers. They will be appearing on both sides on the Jumbotron. So you can read and follow along, please. Bhakti Vigna Vinashak Shri Lakshmi Nrsingadev Bhagavan ki Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Lada Lada Gaine Lada Lada Daine Hiranyakashi Purvachaha Hiranyakashi Purvachaha Lakantana Kalaye Lakantana Narasimham Marim Sharanam Sapade Avakara Kamalavare Nara Adbhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Javadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Loud. Jai Jagadish Gita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Narahari Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Narahari Jaya Bhakta Prahlad 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 Jaya Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Bhakti Vigna Vinashak Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Dev Bhagavan ki jai. Shramani Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Patit Pavan Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. So nice to see you on a summer afternoon at ISV. And it's a Memorial Day weekend. And I know that many of you have not traveled, so we are happy to have you because we are missing half of our family. So it's quite an honor to have you all here. This evening, I know you're all ready for prasadam. But I'll just go quickly into the announcements. We would like to thank our sponsors. This evening, Divyananda Prabhu is he here? I know he's in the kitchen earlier, but he's sponsoring for his mother's anniversary, and it's 1 year for him, so he's sponsoring for that. Maybe we can give him prasadam when he comes. And then another sponsor is a Kolal, who is also sponsoring today's feast for the memory of her father, Sri Karuna Kanta Day, on the occasion of, is here? Oh, okay, can we please have you come forward? Can you give them some prasadam? Would you like to say anything? Please come forward. Would you like to say anything?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. So today is my father's 4th year anniversary passing. So I will request all you to pray for him, for his eternal life. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Here's some prasadam for you. Thank you very much. Who is coming here for the first time? Is there anything we can do for you? Have you been finding everything comfortable? Are you okay? Okay. The ISV is not just the facility that you come at the Sunday feast, you attend the program, and you go away. We are here to be in your service. So if we can be any help to you, please do not hesitate to reach out to you. This is your extended family, so don't be shy, okay? Just introduce yourself, ask anyone, do you know where do they live? Are there any devotees from your areas? What are the programs? We are here to help. So you can keep coming again and again. We want to give you the best experience. We would also like to thank today's speaker, Shraddha Mataji. Shraddha Devi is here. Okay. So she is outside. And she is one of the warrior at ISV, and she is also working full-time, helping Vaisheshika Prabhu with his many, many projects. So it's an honor to have her speak here today. We also would like to thank Koladvi Prana Prabhu and Jai Kanaya Prabhu for this evening kirtan. And last but not least, our broadcast team headed by Ramananda Prabhu. We are actually, if you happen to miss the program here in person, please watch us online. We have a wonderful presence online. ISKCON Silicon Valley Live. You can go to our Facebook. Also, you can see us on YouTube. So if we can do anything for you to come forward and attend these programs on regular basis, that let us know how we can serve you. Okay, with this, we will have the cooks. Do you have the cooks? Okay, who is announcing the cooks? Any youth around? I think all the youths are in sadhu-sanga. But I think it was headed by Siddhikatha Prabhu. Is that right? Yes, Siddhikatha Prabhu and family. And I'm sure they were helped by Neha and Meghavi and many others, right? Tarun Prabhu is back in the kitchen cleaning. So if you would like to help out, do any service in the kitchen, please go help look for Tarun Prabhu. He is a really wonderful, blissful soul. You would love to meet him. Okay, with that, we will go into the Prasadam prayers. Jaikane Prabhu, can you lead us into Prasadam prayers? Hare Krishna.
Sharira avidya jal jodendriya tahika jive phele vishaya sagare tar madhe jivhati lobhomai sudurmati thake jeta kathina samsare Krishna-barudoyamay Kori-bari bhaja Swaprasadana dilobhai Shayanamrita pao Radha Krishna gunagao Premedako Sri Chaitanya Mita Mahaprasade Govinde Nandani Vaishnave Svalpa Punyavatam Rajan Vishwasanavajayate Prasade Sarva Dukhanam Amirastopajayate Prasanna Chaitso Hi Ashu Buddhi Paryavatishta Chaitavayogva Bhukta Shadgandha Vasavalanka Sachita Uchista Bhodino Dasa Almayan Jahe Mahi Bhagat Srimad Prasad Ki Jai. Please come take prasad.